Hello everyone, welcome back. We are ready to go with our first game in this series. Just take that off there. It is going to be University of Texas at Austin versus University of Texas at Arlington. So I feel like we've cast a Texas versus Texas game already. I mean, I definitely recognize Isaac, but I do not recognize Vilehawk as someone we've cast in the CSL. In general, the name actually sounds familiar. Like he was on Vile at one point years ago. Hello, Rifkin.
Hello. I'm sorry, I just didn't have anything to add to that. I don't know how to do these players.
It would have been a long time ago, but I don't know. It might have just been like a name. He doesn't actually have a portrait, as in like, you know, a rank, so I don't know what he is.
Maybe he can't afford.
He's Grandmaster.
Maybe he can't afford one. After all, they are called portraits.
He's actually Grandmaster, but I guess he just doesn't play this season, versus Isaac, who is a Masters, at least right now. Let's hop in a game. Yeah, do have the 1v1. Phew! Nailed it.
So, how do we get to the point where there's... Like, I understand the probability of one type of university fighting another, but they had both, like, in-state kills, I guess you could say. It's a mirror matchup in ZVZ, but it's a mirror matchup in Texas versus Texas.
I don't know. Look, as someone... Okay, so here's the gist, right, between the two of us. We're going to actually go to college. Or
Well,
you went to...
you don't need to tell everybody that.
It's not like a bad thing. Why would it be...
Wow.
Why wouldn't I bring it
Because I don't want everyone to know that I don't have debt, and they'll assume I have money and start asking to borrow it, obviously.
Okay, my bad. And I went to college, a very typical college in 1 year, and then a very, very, very small school for the next 3. So I don't know jack about how, like, college works, really. I was on a sports team in the first college, but hell if I paid attention to any of, like, the standings or any shit like that. Track and field no one cares about, so, I mean, I never had to either.
Oh, you did, Oh, shoot, hang on. Shot put, right?
No, I was very bad at shot put.
No, but I remember seeing a picture of you doing that. I was literally
Really? Yeah, there might have been a picture.
Yeah, we would all Facebook creeper mode on each other that one night, remember?
Are you sure I wasn't throwing the discus or the hammer?
Maybe it was then. I don't know. I just remember you were throwing something, so
Yeah,
I assumed it was a
I
shot
was
put.
much better at the discus than the hammer. I was actually okay at the weight too, but that's another story. We're into this best of 5. In the bottom right on Prion Terraces, it is the green Zerg, Isaac.
And his opponent in the top left with the name of like a bad guy transformer. It's Vilehawk. Terrorize.
Yes. Vilehawk is the Arlington, Texas team, Isaac being the Austin, Texas team, which we will be going to. Actually, they might be going to, if they do well, hey, in May. The top, I don't know if it's, I think it's just finals. They'll have to double check that. Going to play live at DreamHack Austin, which is pretty cool. I mean, obviously the big deal is the scholarship money, which all of these guys are playing for, but I think it's also pretty cool to go up on stage.
I gotta be honest, like, for what the money is in this, the stage is just like a cool factor at best. Honestly, getting that extra, what's the phrase? Not tuition. The prize for this.
The scholarship money?
Scholarship, thank you. It was completely escaping me. Being that I am not a scholar, as I did not attend college, I are too stupid to know such words. The scholarship money for this is definitely going to be the most appealing, because all you ever read about, all you ever hear about is like just how kinds of screwed American students are when it comes to debt. So I imagine these guys are going to be very relieved. Whatever team takes it, I'm sure they'll be very grateful for that money to help.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of the standings, I suppose, to see if one of these guys is actually going to be able to go. Unfortunately, actual Austin, Texas University, which Isaac is playing for, is not looking so hot. They are currently 1-3. Arlington, Texas is currently 3-1. So again, that flip, just like the last series was. So I also don't think either of these guys are quite at that point where, like, they're definitely out or definitely in. We do still have a few more weeks, but it actually might be getting really close. You're very close to the end of the regular season and going into the playoffs next month.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe there's, if nothing else, pride on the line other than standings. Regardless, though, Bilehawk going to be leading the charge here with the attack. Comes on over. The Banelings aren't quite done yet, so the timing here kind of works out for them, but they're going to be done in any second.
Yeah, this looks okay. I mean, Vilehawk's already, following this up with the Roach Warren. His own Baneling nest as well, so he might be going into a Roach Baneling all-in, as he has not slapped down his third yet, which Isaac is more than aware of, having getting his own third, almost done in fact, and seeing it with the Overlord lack of. A couple of Baneling hits go down. Looks like they trade out pretty efficiently with each other. These two Banelings should be enough, and that's that for now. But Isaac, I don't think, knows about the Roach Warren. It should look fishy not to have a third base, but he doesn't know if it's more Lings being holed up here or there's Roaches about to pop.
Well, the Banelings will hold some power. I don't know if I'm doing an accent, I apologize. Hold some power for the moment, but as we see, Roaches are popping, so this will drive them back. Now, for Vilehawk in this situation, I do love the Roaches, but he does have to be careful. Marching them out in the middle of the map like this is considerably dangerous. They can get surrounded and picked off in low numbers, and those Zerglings could actually win a lot of these fights. Yeah. But Isaac perhaps not aware of how few there are, or maybe just a little too scared. Either way, he's bulking up back at home, 16 more about to pop, and he can... If he catches him out in the open like this, Vilehawk will certainly fall. That one Baneling was amazing. Takes out all the Lings. Goes for this round, gets it. Baneling's a little bit wasted here, but that's fine because the Zerglings are still going to surround. And just like watching somebody like Snoot earlier today in the Corsair Cup, Isaac completely shuts down these Roaches.
Wow.
GG's even called.
Just GG's. He did know about that third base and just figured that all-in didn't work, and that was going to be it. Quite a surprise, as we did talk about Vile being the GM or pre-GM, but maybe Isaac just as good at ZVZ, or he actually was GM last season. I did not get to look at him before we went in, but congratulations. Yeah, potentially. So we already explained how the best of 5 is going to work, so it's going to go to another 1v1, but there is also like a list of who's playing and what race, and of course they already know all of the maps, so they know what to prepare for, and that could have really helped Isaac. But the next game is going to be between Sanguine, whatever you want to call it.
Sanguine, it's a word I'm all too familiar with, being a vampire.
Yep.
By the way, which, because I didn't remember, which university won,
Isaac was on UT Austin.
Okay.
So I remember this guy's name, right? Because Sanguine, I like the word, so I was saying it like that, right?
Sanguine's just, is it just like a shade of red, isn't it?
I'm not sure.
Like
but then
red or something.
Fear Dragon kept on pronouncing it his own way when I cast with him, and I was like...
Sangria?
Sangria. No, it was like Sanguine or something. Like, it was just... It didn't sound as French, certainly, and I was like, I don't know if I'm saying it right. I'm just gonna not mention this.
Okay, safe than sorry, I understand.
I know, right? Amazing. The next map is Larilak, I believe. Pop, 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 pop. Yep, Larilak. Build order. Making lobbies is so amazing.
Mm-hmm.
They are both here, yet only one responded. Actually, I don't know who KR Satan CSL is. Korean Satank CSL?
I don't know.
Who is KR CSL? You guys ever participate in any tournaments? You know, it really helps the admin and organizers.
Having
same name.
Easy, yeah, to identify
same
names.
Name. Just a little pro tip. Do you want to sing any more songs while we wait? I mean...
No, I've been working on this the whole time, since last time.
Oh, Jesus. If you want to know more, I guess, about the standings, if you're actually interested in what this dealio is and who's actually about to be knocked out and whatnot. You can go to seestarleague.com. Check out the other esports too, because it's not just Starcraft 2. I know you're coming here to watch Starcraft 2, but there's Dota, Hearthstone, League of Legends. It's a whole bunch. And you could also participate if you are in college. If you can get a big enough team together, then it's certainly a fun experience, even if maybe your team isn't the best. We're not actually getting a response from Arlington. Now, I guess I'll say what has happened in the past. So in the past, if someone isn't here, there's been at least one rewarded walkover, for sure. That was the team basically saying he's not going to come, like, don't bother giving us time. But there have been multiple other occasions where they just asked to do the 2v2 first, and they have been allowed to do that. And whether you think that's a good way to go or not, I guess it doesn't matter, because that's how the CSL has been letting things run the past 5 weeks. Is Squirtle... Well, thanks for responding. Okay, so it is Squirtle. That's his name. And we're ready. Let's hop into that in-game screen. Alright. Game number 2. Sanguine's team, Sanguine is up 1-0 for UT Austin. They are the ones that do need this win the most, being at currently 1-3. Not looking so hot. And it's going to be a PVT. So hopefully his versus Terran is good, so he can still lead his team to victory. There we go. In the bottom right, on Leilak Crest, as the red Terran, he is Sanguine.
And his opponent's blue like the water type he is. Wishing he was Korean, it's the Protoss player, Squirtle! Squirtle, squirt!
Yeah, unfortunately, the Korean Protoss has since retired. Womp womp. He never became War Turtle or Blastoise. Such is a point.
Much wow.
Yeah.
Alright, so in this matchup, we've talked about it all too many times in our normal cast. Protoss definitely feeling that little bit of favoritism. Again, which player is representing which university here? Again, sorry guys, it's mirror teams. That's what's making it so confusing for me.
Squirtle is for Arlington.
So it's Sanguine who's up 1-0 currently then.
That is correct.
Alright, and his color matched by his name. Fantastic. These guys actually nailed it with the color coding, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if Squirtle's a fan of Pokemon or he's actually a fan of the pro gamer Squirtle, who had quite a run. He actually was, I don't know how you would call it, like... It's like, you know, you always hear about, like, in TV and movies and stuff, the celebrities, they all get the credit, but actually it's, like, the script writers and, you know, other people that really should. I feel like Squirtle was that to Parting a lot. Squirtle would come up with really cool builds, and then Parting would actually make them look really good and would use them effectively, and would win far more often than his teammate at the time back on Startail, which is now... Oh crap, what is Startail now? Are they Afrika?
Yeah, they became Spenu and then became Afrika, I think,
yeah,
right?
Oh my god. That's actually hard for me to remember, but... Yeah, so a lot of people actually were fans of Squirtle, of course, especially after his MVP Grand Finals, but unfortunately, he done retired. He's over. He's trying to take the name now. Maybe if Squirtle wins the CSL for his team, he can upgrade to War Turtle. I don't know. It was a thing.
You're pretty obsessed with this evolutionary chain. I mean, War Turtle was cool and all, but it's all about that Blastoise, yo. He had cannons on his back, and the Mega Evolution gave him like an extra cannon on his back. You
have to do something, like, you have to do 2 extraordinary things to get all the way up to Blastoise, obviously. And I feel like if you did follow StarCraft 2 back when Squirtle was a big deal, then there's a lot of times where people were asking to, like, upgrade names. So they asked to upgrade Squirtle, and I think, Marine King No, Marine King was already king. Oh man, who was the other guy? Was it Byun and Ghost? Ghost King? No. Shoot. I had him in mind. Chat will probably know. Chat backed me up on this, but someone else wanted to be upgraded if he won something, and he never ended up actually winning anything. Womp womp.
Seed could grow into a tree.
That would actually, I mean, that would work. But it's since yeah, no one's cared.
Well,
since
Drogo
then.
recently upgraded from PT Drogo to Drogo.
Hey, that's a good point. No one was calling for it,
What?
but
What?
Yeah, I know.
It's a pylon. There's a pylon being built in the middle of the map.
yeah, I would say actually to both of these situations, the what. So pylon of the map and a third command center after barracks. It really looks like our Terran players facing Zerg right now, which would kill them versus Protoss, especially if the Protoss was at all going to attack, which he is. 4 gateways, Resident Enclaves on the way. I don't feel so good for poor Sanguine. That's the rocks we go down. See, the problem is that a Cyclone, a Viking, a Liberator, those are all good tools that you can micro with and use and just, you know, actually be very effective defensively with. I don't know if you can hold on versus, like, you know, Mass and Depths, but at least they'd be helpful. But those aren't even coming out. It is just going to be Marines, and the severe lack of scouting from Sanguine is just really, oh my god. Like, even a bunker should be down just automatically, just in case, and there's no bunker. He has eyes on the third, and at around 5 minutes, you'd be thinking, you start to be like, oh, okay, maybe if they were macroing, they would have a third by now. But this, it would be too late. I don't even know if he's recognizing what's going on here. Oh boy. Oh no. Now, with the third CC,
This is
you can make up for a lot of SCV losses, but
right, but this is a pretty dedicated attack with the depths. I mean, let's not forget with Resonating Glaive, everything attacks a little bit faster. He just seems to outnumber Sanguine, and in a
That's
quick
it.
instant, Squirtle looks to tie up the series. Although it is a little bit too early to call, this is kind of getting out of hand. 9 army supply, 8 army supply for Sanguine to work with. His name covering the ground with that red blood splatter.
yeah. Now, if he had a bunker, would have been better. Of course, if he knew this was happening, he would have 3 bunkers.
This is actually really decisive and important, because if he chose to stay in the natural base and slaughter the SCVs, I mean, GG, either way. But if he stayed there, that actually gave Sanguine a chance to get the Liberators out and have them on that ramp. The fact that he went straight to the main is the reason he was able to end it right then and there. So
Yeah.
really well done out of Squirtle.
That was quite greedy and surprising from our UT Austin player, though, from the Terran player. Like, you gotta have some really good game sense and scouting to get away with the third CC. Because even if that was just harassment or adepts, they still would maybe do a lot of damage and run them around. That was a risky build. Didn't end up working out. So the series is now tied 1-1, and we go into the 2v2s.
Yeah, and once again, I state the 2v2s are probably the best part of these best of 5s. I particularly enjoy them, and they are all kinds of chaotic, which I enjoy because there's really, there is no judgment here on whether you're the Bronze League, Diamond League, Grandmaster League player, because 2v2 is a completely different scenario. Unless you're that guy who went AFK during Tuesday's cast.
Oh, God. Yeah.
He just left. He just got up and fucking left.
We never really got an explanation on that. We got an apology, I think, from one of the teammates, maybe, but
That dude he was done.
yeah, it
just
was odd.
I made overlords, but they're not fast.
Fuck this. Like, this isn't cool. Like, I'm done. It was quite odd. It's especially odd because it wasn't like a stomp. It wasn't like everyone on their team AFK'd, you know? But, and you also have presets rosters, so it's not like they could just grabbed anyone and be like, hey, come over here. I guess technically they could have if they had the account ready to go, but the point is, it was just a very confusing game all around, and you could check the VODs if you really wanted to see it. It wasn't a good game, it was just confusing. Maybe it'd be funny to listen to us just have no idea what's going on. Like most of our cast, am I right? Heh.
Ha. Oh, yeah.
Oh, oh. Get in here.
Everyone, get in here! Oh, wait, sorry, we're doing Starcraft, not Hearthstone.
Yeah. I was wondering where that was from, to be honest. I don't play
Really?
Hearthstone.
That's like a meme at this point. Like, even if you don't play, you should know that.
Sorry, I'm not up to date with my memes.
Your memes are weak.
My memes are truly weak. Jitia. Join off of your partner. If you're not getting an invite.
I almost have this Mentos thing done, but not in the way that I was hoping it would go.
Mentos. We're so close to getting the 2v2 on the way. And just this one guy. So unfortunately I'm wearing the same workout t-shirt I was last time I cast after
So it
working
just
out.
looks like you don't ever have it. Your
Well-
slob has been wearing the same clothes for 3 days.
So yes, but also all of my workout t-shirts are actually like related to like video games or just funny in general. I like showing them off when I get the chance. I have one that is a quote from Legally Blonde, which I like too. You know, exercise gives you endorphins. Endorphins make you happy, and happy people don't shoot people. They just don't. You've watched that movie, right?
Yeah,
Okay, good.
Elle was alright.
Dude, that was an amazing movie. That was...
Reese Witherspoon and Reese without her spoon.
I
I love those
remember
sort of
looking at
jokes,
like an
Kanye
image.
West, the Kanye
Yeah,
East.
I was looking at like an album or something of all of those, and those are pretty good.
They're pretty legit. I like them.
Other team. Okay, good enough. One from each team is good enough.
Everybody gets one.
Yep. Alright, let's hop in. The Seething Jungle, currently tied up 1-1 between the two Texan universities.
Yo, I know the stream won't be able to see this, but I gotta show something on my camera that just happened.
Okay, I'm looking.
I was just kind of playing around with my necklace, and I feel like I'm Xerxes from like 300 now, because it got stuck on my hand in a weird way.
I feel like you're just kind of like a kid who is in a bind, literally.
It's a really expensive Chinese finger trap. Except I'm Japanese, so I'm in a real pickle.
Pickling is more of a Korean thing. No, that's fermenting. Ah, two different things. Damn it.
Ruined.
Saved.
Nope, just ruined.
Just ruined. In the top right on Seething Jungle, we have the Orange Terran Gray, that's deceiving, and the Purple Zerg, Jitir Sneeza.
I'm assuming that's short for God Tier Sneezer. This guy probably sneezes like an elephant. On the other side of the map, the opposing team, the light blue Zerg Stokugu and his teammate Greasy Imp King. Now, which of these represents which universities, Amco?
I was gonna say, and then I was looking at this clan decal. So the bottom left team will represent the Arlington Texan College, and
Do you
top
not know
right
who that is?
Austin. I do not.
That is Bubbles, my good madam, and I'm upset that you don't know who that is.
From what?
Trailer Park Boys.
Oh, I've never seen any of that.
I don't know, Ricky.
Sorry.
Doesn't seem like a good idea, Julian.
Sorry. This is an early pool, not a surprise. Yet again, one Zerg for each team is pretty standard. And now this Zerg is going to be going for the attack. This Zerg's job should be to defend, while this Terran's job should be to get to just a little bit higher tech units or a little bit more economy, and also, of course, help to defend. But, unfortunately, having a Protoss partner with a Zerg means that their early game aggression is not going to be as good as a Terran or, of course, other Zerg partner. But Imp King could send out a Mothership Core, a couple of Adepts, or simply take advantage of the pressure his partner brought him and expand. That is if Stokogu makes any lings at all, which he's currently not. What's this lava for, buddy? What's it for? Why is it just standing there?
Lava, you say? Ah!
This is
for me, I'm just looking at this, right? Every time we cast these 2v2s, every single time without fail, the Protoss always pulls ahead.
Right, and it's I think there's the game plan of a Zerg Protoss team is the Zerg applies the pressure and the Protoss tries to get ahead and almost 1v2s from there. That's without the early lings, this feels a lot less like it's going to do a lot to the other team. These lings are just now coming out. I actually don't know where that was. Sanaga? Okay, questionable. The Overlord of our Purple Zerg will see the lings. Of course, their own lings are already out. God tier Sneezer. It's going to be going for roaches, which is definitely the most... It's the more stable composition, especially in the early game for Zerg. Although mutas can snowball if you're allowed to get to them.
Are we actually going to be calling him God tier Sneezer, by the way?
Well,
like...
Jatir Sneezer just, you know, what sounds... What is that?
Jitier. It's French.
What does tia mean? What verb is that?
Higher up sneeze out.
I tier sneeze. I high up sneeze.
Clam chowder.
So this was seen, and our Terran player did not go for command center, so this really should not have been that hard for this team to clean up. This team, again, for University Texan Austin.
Not Arlington.
What?
Not Arlington, because Arlington's the bottom left.
Oh, I thought he was like R LinkedIn, like the subreddit for LinkedIn.
Oh, no, that's quite stupid. This Oracle's gotten quite a few kills, but not devastating as Orange did pull away. But oh, you're Rossi, another Oracle. And it's looking for more kills!
Who are you?
JFK. Should be obvious.
No, was it? Mimic your own presidents.
Boa supper. Oh, you're wanna party platter?
Actually, you know, have you seen this like trailer for? It's not a Netflix original. It's like a Amazon original or something like that, where they go back in time. Like James Franco goes back in time to stop the assassination of JFK.
No, but I must see that movie. Oracles do go back into the mineral line. There's only a small handful of Marines left behind, so they slaughter and drive off the SCVs once again. And unfortunately, poor Gray is going to lose a majority of his workers here as he's not pulling back. He is pushing with his teammate. Now, this is kind of scary because maybe they end the game with this push. Maybe this is just enough to break the defenses of players who took all of their investment, put them into Oracles, and threw them across the map. Because right now, there isn't a huge amount of units. Those Adepts could easily go down to these Banelings.
Mm-hmm. This is definitely a scary push, but they're really pretty even army supply, all things combined, and of course, Gray is just straight up less on economy. A Marauder tanks the Banelings of Sokogu. The Banelings, oh, they're coming in from behind, however. That was nice, and this was cleaned up. This was cleaned up fairly easily, in fact, a lot thanks to Teal.
Look at the worker counts right now, though, looking fantastic for Teal. I mean, not only did he just carry that fight, he comes out shining like a starlet. Pink had killed a lot of SCVs, so 15 remain for Orange while this goes on. 22 drones for the Purple Zerg, who's trying to split them between two bases, and once again, mining straight up denied. Oh, he needed that mule, too. This is going worse and worse for our poor Orange Terran. No, if Purple was in a better spot, the argument can be made. This is 2v2. One of the dynamics is you share resources. You can literally give Orange the money he's not mining. But that's not going to be happening because, unfortunately, he needs every mineral he can because he is essentially going to be fighting 1v2 for this engagement. If Orange comes to the front line to defend, those Oracles go right back to that mineral line. And there's no Widow Mines, there's no turrets yet. Even one, I don't know if it's going to stop all these Oracles.
Well, it came way too late. The attack looks like it's not too eager to push in. Although I think it can. Like, this isn't really a whole lot. It could try. The players have gotten their Nexus, their third hatchery. I mean, this is looking really quite good for the Arlington, Texas University. And actually, it looks like game. With the lack of a partner, you really have to have something in your back pocket. So that's like, you know, mutas attacking right now, or maybe your partner, even with few units, can get a drop in. But unfortunately, Gray hasn't even gone up to a factory, so he's really quite behind.
He's in a bit of a sticky pickle. The Oracles are getting sacrificed, but they take out all the Marines in the process, and this has got a little hand. Now the Protoss player, if they really want to play, is super amazing. You just fall back behind the roaches, let them take the hits. But Guardian Shield nullifying a lot of damage. This base is where about half the drones are, and this base is where, unfortunately, we will mark the death of Purple. Now, the roaches do spawn, and that's kind of neato burrito. But behind this, 49 drones get made in total for Teal. He's good to go with any sort of reinforcing. The Protoss player, of course, his economy remains untouched while this goes on as well. And unfortunately, with Orange never having gotten a second command center, he can't even mule to make up these losses.
Yep. This is looking like game, but God tier Sneezer really wants to hold on. He's saying, I can do it. I can do it. I swear I can. And then he sneezes and then just loses all of his units. No. But not quite ready with the killing blow. Imp King and Sokogu are teching, getting everything they want back at home. This reinforcement line is now defunct, so just run, run, run.
I mean, it's 1-1 right now, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna have an archive mode match come up either way next.
Yes. The army supply really isn't that bad for Purple Zerg here, God tier Sneezer. Of course, Stokugu is matching him in a little bit more, but Imp King was starting to fall behind. He's only like 7 army supply, and that could have been a chance to do something, especially if these rocks were broken. Again, anything, like a drop, Ling's going through, Muta is coming out, so, like, that could start the snowball, but the way that our poor players, Gray and God tier Sneezer, have had to play this out is mostly just a numbers-to-numbers war, which they're obviously going to lose. Even something as, like, you know, like Tunneling Claws, Burrow, could have been really cool.
Right, just something to set apart a difference. But now the fact that it's coming down to a macro game, you don't even have to be good at macro, because you're just going to have so much money to work with to replace all these units that may or may not even go down. Overcharge is taking care of the first wave pretty well. I feel like Teal said, no, bro, let me 1v2 him. Things like, no, you kill Steeler? I want the glory too.
Little bit. That is basically the last army. I don't see anything else happening on the map for Gray and Sneezer. His nickname is now Sneezer. Does have a third base on the way, but unfortunately his drone count has never been very good, only at 25.
That base is what I call ambitious.
With 25 drones, it's much better off just being an army trying to do something. He's not entirely mined out here. He is going to try and go for a Spire, which I've mentioned, you know, could be a good comeback move, but it's late.
Not before Lurkers come out from Teal. He's actually got a couple in place, so... As if this wasn't bad enough, they're going to Bane Bust their way through to victory and throw a couple of Lurkers underground just to cement everything.
Yeah. Not much use breaking on these rocks is, hey, psych,
You know
Orange
what?
never got a base.
Lurkers have like these webbed toe effect, like from each leg to each leg, right?
Yeah,
You
kind
realize
of.
how ineffective that would be for having to dig into the ground? Just increasing your surface area, making it harder to burrow? That's just silly.
I don't have much opinion on that, good sir. I'm sure they base it off some subterranean thing, so they know what they're doing. That's it. That's all the army.
Giving a lot of credit to them.
Okay, so everyone gives shit to Blizzard for a lot of things, mostly balance
like the
and
lurker
whatnot.
sounds, for example.
Some sounds, yes, that's true, but their art team is pretty top notch, so I believe in them. Once upon a time, I wanted to join them. And now that dream is over. Congratulations to UT Arlington for taking the 2-1 lead. And now we go on to that Archon mode match. Boop.
Okay, so... Game 4.
Dusk Towers.
Arlington being the ones 2-1, so it's really on Arlington to shut this series out, or else they go to the ace match.
It's really hard for me to say University of Texas at Arlington, because Arlington is a pretty well-known city in Virginia. Yes, because that's where like a bunch of like the FBI buildings and stuff are. I think FBI or CIA. I live near all the important buildings. Special.
So I wanna try something here. While we get this lobby set up, Would it be possible for you to hit the mute button on OBS so people can't hear me, but they can still hear you?
Yes.
Because I want to see you this Mentos variation I've come up with, but I don't think this is something we could actually put on stream. But I would think your reaction to it could be pretty funny.
Okay.
So you have to promise not to scumbag me here and actually mute me to the stream, okay?
I will. Hold on. Let me get everyone in here. Well, I can Squirtle. Okay. I'm gonna mute the system sounds now, I guess.
Yeah. So you can still hear me, right?
Yes. That's pretty good. That's something. You're right. I'm gonna.
I put pizzazz into that, man. I put my soul into that.
You did. The fact that you're trying to cover your mouth just looked like you were like getting really into it with the mic.
It's like, oh yeah, baby, how you doing? First date, all right.
Ah, jeez. Oh, I got that song stuck in my head for a long time to come.
The Mentos song, guys, is so good. Alright, so Squirtle and Vilehawk, both players we've already seen, fighting against G-Tier Sneezer and Isaac, two players we've already seen. But I do forget, which one of these teams is representing Arlington? It's Squirtle and Vilehawk, right?
Yes.
Okay. So this isn't looking too bad then, if that's going to be the case. But it is EVZ, and it is well known that Zerg Archons are actually the most difficult to pull off.
Yeah, we agreed upon that, and I think a lot of other people who still play Archon mode would agree on that. It's kind of it's a dead game, man. Poor Archon mode. It had such hope, such promise. This song that I'm listening to on Monster Cat is not that good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well,
I'm gonna skip it.
I'm actually going to the Monster Cat headquarters on Saturday. I'm pretty excited about that.
Oh, really? Is that for the
The
meetup?
Twitch Vancouver meetup thing, yeah.
Cool. You can tell him that one song sucked.
Actually, I may need to talk to you about that. I have to figure out my plans tonight on how I'm getting there, because Vancouver's quite a distance away. I might not actually be able to stick around for the whole Lima League monthly finals, depending how late it goes.
I see. Well, that's okay. I know Fear Dragon said he's available for Lima Leagues, isn't he?
Well, I'm figuring out basically my best schedule tonight after we're done with this. I slept from the last cast still here because of my tooth stuff. So I didn't get anything productive done today.
Okay.
I should take that back. I made 2 map intros today. I forgot about that. Up at 4 a.m. for no reason. Yeah.
Suddenly proud of myself again.
Suddenly worth living.
Okay. Well, game number 4, guys. Dusk Towers. In the top right, as the purple Zerg, it is Jatir Sneezer and Isaac for University of Texas at Austin.
And the other team, representing Arlington, they're up 2-1, and if they win this Archon mode match, they will close out the series. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the pink Zerg Archon, the Cerebrit, if you will, Vilehawk and Squirtle. And yes, I must say his name like that every time, because for those who don't know, on Steam, I am part of the Squirtle Squad, and all we do is 4 of us join a Counter-Strike game and just yell Squirtle obnoxiously into the mic, so the 5th person has to deal with it.
See, back when I was watching Pokemon as like a little kid, the one thing that my mom took away from Pokemon to try and show interest in it was that she freaking loved Squirtle. She likes turtles, right? So I always bring up Squirtle in the Squirtle Squad, and she'll be like, "Oh, I loved them." Old people, am I right?
Right. Actually, you know what? Legit, the Squirtle Squad had the coolest sunglasses. Like not the stupid circle ones that they all had, but the leader who had like the
sharp ones,
triangle. Yeah.
Yeah,
those are the best.
Yeah,
I actually, if I could have a pair of those, I would 100% buy those.
So, something interesting in this Archon mode match that I don't think we've seen yet in the CSL is that they beat each other already, basically. So for Isaac, he beat Vilehawk, and for Squirtle, he beats G-Tier Sneezer in, oh, no, wait. No.
G-Tier Sneezer played, he played the 2v2.
2v2s, that's right. So he actually hasn't played anyone on this team, but Squirtle did take the other game after Isaac beats Vilehawk. So I don't know who this is going to go to. Obviously, Vilehawk versus Isaac straight up. Isaac did a lot better, but Squirtle might just be that little something to change it all up. Now, Squirtle is usually Protoss, so it's very odd to see him playing in a Zerg Archon, and we did just talk about how Zerg Archons can be the most difficult, so I'm not sure. I'm positive they practice a little bit, but I don't know how good his Zerg really is.
For those who don't know why we're talking about this, by the way, it doesn't matter whether your main race is Zerg or not. One of the reasons the Zerg Archon are the hardest to play is because of the way the production overlaps with what is classically a micro-macro player. What we actually end up seeing a lot of the time is instead just one player playing the whole race, with the other helping band-aid small things like creep spreading and injects and you name it to clean up the other aspects of it. Once units are on the field, you can make control groups, sure, but reinforcing is certainly difficult.
Yeah. First blood went to this Ling that was trying to get a scout, and got a pretty decent scout, really. So a third base. For purple, okay, yeah, their team also gets to see that there is no third base, and that's a little questionable. That's like, what's the matter here? So we see drones right now in the production tab, Vilehawk and Squirtle, but unless they throw out that third soon, they should have some type of attack forming. Like this can't just get away scot-free. Well, that's going to be a lair, actually, from them. So not exactly reacting to the 3-base, but instead hoping that by 3-basing, that means Sneezer and Isaac won't be the ones to attack. Which might be a fair assessment. Now, I think with knowing there's a lack of a third, eventually this thing's going to scout the main and see, like, oh, it's a lair, it's probably for a Spire. And then that could prompt Purple to go ahead and just attack and kill them before they get there.
Well, it is a slower game than I would have expected, but regardless, playing it safe rather than sorry. I don't mind that Pink is actually playing this a little bit more cautious, but with the third base still not down, they are going to start falling behind. Now, this does leave the option for things like 2-base mutas, and we see this out of Penguin a lot.
Yep.
And there's the Spire.
There it is.
This is one of those times where Zerg Archon, by the way, beats out Zerg 1v1 every time, because you can't have one player just straight dedicate to the Mutalisks for the rest of the game. And a player who is even halfway decent at using Mutalisks can own the map. No question about it.
So, Vilehawk and Squirtle have actually had better mining for most of the time. Not like, so great, oh my god, they're going to totally win, but still better. With the third base up and running, and hopefully saturated soon, that should change. And if it doesn't, then that's just unfortunate for Isaac and Sneezer here, as they got it up so quickly. I think they would take an advantage from it. They're going for their own Spire. And again, if this had already been mining, if the Gaskets are already taken, they'd have such a bank lead for the Mutas that they, not guaranteed win, but they'd certainly start off great. It's actually starting off in favor of Pink Zerg here, who has a lot banked up. So, 900, 700, looking pretty good.
Yeah. But let's not forget, with them later to that third, despite their better macro, I guess you could argue, they're a little bit later to the proper income parties. So that's kind of what lets Purple stay on even footing. Now, I just realized this is Purple versus Pink in a Muta versus Muta. So if you guys thought this was hard to gauge before, just wait until you see the Mutas fighting each other.
Yes, that's certainly true. And certainly unfortunate. Isaac and Sneezer did go for a couple of lings. That's going to imbalance their gas to mineral ratio here, but their lings are looking for a couple of kills and actually do find some.
I had nudged my camera or something that goes like, why is she not moving her camera for the last like 3 minutes? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I do that sometimes on yours, and I'm like, damn, this observing's terrible.
Like I know Rifkin can sometimes miss things, but geez. So the Lings will get on top of the spawnings, but 13 mutas are spawning for purple behind this. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13,
Ooh,
so yeah,
wow.
about the same.
Damn. 15 at once. That is quite a big number. Carapace is faster for pink here, however, and that's going to definitely help. We're going to start talking about the fourth base, though, and how important that's going to be. An entire base up, utilized correctly, should give them quite a lead, quite a meter lead.
So I see we've got some of our Twitch friends coming over, some familiar names from the Base Trade TV chat. Big love goes to Logan. It's crazy enough to tune in here for the close to the end of the CSL cast tonight. Things got a little bit funny and silly earlier, but we're surprisingly holding it together. I'm proud of us right now.
I guess it's been a while since we talked about it, but of course, Vilehawk and Squirtle being up 2-1 is great for them right now, but it's also great for their overall score, which will turn into a 4-1 if they can close it out. Unfortunately, Caesar and Isaac would love to bring their score up because they're only at 1-3 for Austin, Texas at Austin.
Did you call him Caesar?
Sneezer?
I heard Caesar.
Very late N. Yes, Caesar the Sneezer.
He's the Tsar of sneezing.
Yeah, exactly. That's a lot of drones going down up in the third. There we go.
Yeah,
kind of hard to see on
pretty
creep.
much die.
This
is really
big.
Unfortunate. Now, well, I mean, luckily there was enough drones behind this, so still sitting on 46. Unfortunate for what this game is leading into. But with 20 mutas versus 21, I'm surprised Purple's actually going to back away here. He's got more. They've got more mutas.
They did not have the upgrade for like 2 seconds. I think that might have scared them. Also, you really want to know you're going to win before you commit. Usually, now Lings on the ground will help them win the fight as well. So they might want to take it again. They're going to go in, but then back off. Little undecided, and another muta just runs in, gets picked off immediately. Right now, Vilehawk and Squirtle are winning. Definitely,
it's snowballing hard. That hatchery actually eating a significant amount of the Glaveworm bounces definitely attributed to that lead. Now, technically, Purple could bridge this gap with their economy. However, doing so is going to be difficult. And for the first time in casting over hundreds of Zerg versus Zerg matches from HOTS to Legacy, only today did we see Acer Bly overcome a mutalist deficit. If if Sneezer and Isaac can do that here, that's going to be damn impressive to me. But they are down in mutas 16 to 22.
That is quite a big number, but sniping that fourth base is certainly helpful to bring it back. Now they just have to survive this. That's a lot of Lings, and they didn't actually have any more Lings after their attack killed so many drones. They go for the Spore Crawler immediately. The muta count's not as bad as it was before. In fact, starting to even out here.
Defender's advantage really kicking in, but those Glaveworm bounces just aren't sitting right. It's 17 versus 12, and unfortunately, Team Purple, despite having this defender's advantage, they might win this fight, but they're going to lose their base for it at this rate.
Yeah. That is going to even up the bases, however, so it's kind of okay, right? Like, a lot of the reinforcing mutas were coming out, and the unit stat wasn't quite reflective of the situation, and unfortunately, mutas do snowball, you know, like you're 5 to 4, and or you're 10 to 8, say, and then suddenly it becomes 9 to 4, as they just snowball harder and harder. So they definitely could have backed off sooner and caught up with the reinforcements. Now, one of the reasons that Purple Zerg was also down on mutas was that they went for the +1 flyer attack, which is going to be very helpful in this engagement here. Yet again, the Lings on the ground are helping out Vilehawk and Squirtle, however, or they were. Come back, buddies! Hey!
Friends, we were winning. What are you doing?
This is a very, very close CVZ. And the flyer attack is still going to help Sneezer and Isaac as the game goes on. In fact, Pink should start that soon. They're over here. I guess okay, they do start soon. There is a bit of flip-flop between who was focusing more on the Ling Wars, which makes this a lot more interesting. You know, at one point, only the Purple Zerg had a lot of Lings. At another point, only the Pink Zerg had a lot of Lings. And they both did what they wanted. They got that fourth base down and maybe a couple more drones. But as upgrade is certainly going to help, and they're going to need Lings on the ground to help them make up for that, because the muta count is exactly even here. Reinforcing from both. Defender's advantage might play a little bit of a part. Lings dodge into the natural, however, this is very annoying to deal with. Watching everywhere.
Yeah, this game has actually become a lot closer and a lot more topsy-turvy than I expected it to be. That's not a bad thing either. This is actually shaping up to be quite the match. Unit count's very similar. Mutalisk count's especially very similar. That upgrade going to give a lead for a time. +1 still not done for Vile and Squirtle.
Yeah. They only just got up to the even drone count as well, so that has probably been hurting. Overall, the army supply is bigger for Sneezer and Isaac. However, Spore Crawlers can certainly help. Occasionally you saw what was a clumped-up Muta force try and snipe a couple of Mutas of the disconnected Muta force of Sneezer and Isaac, and that can be very important. There is some micro to the actual Muta versus Mutas wars. It just so often comes down to Snowball versus Snowball.
There's a considerable amount of Ling action that's been going on underneath this, too. Props to the Purple Zerg, bleeding off a couple of drones here and there. Ling's in the main, finishing off a couple more drones, hampering that gas count, but enough banked up to build 4 more Mutas if necessary. 5 more even, excuse me.
Oh, the drone count once again just getting, oh man, really wrecked here.
This is... On the other side, there's an equal Ling counterattack, though. This is not getting as many drone kills over because it's being handled a little bit better by the Purple team. Again, very scary for Purple. They have to win this game. All these kills are amounting to them coming back into the game. Like, as weird as that is to consider, it is evening up at best with this situation. Now, unfortunately, being pulled away over there means it's exposed to the drones. I love that they pulled these away a little bit closer to that Spore Crawler. But these Mutas, at some point, the pink Zerg, not only are they going to be forced to fight, but they would actually find an advantage here. Because the Defender's advantage is a pretty big deal in every single Zerg matchup. And right now, while it's an even Muta count, they're still hatching 2 or 3 or 7 at a time and coming across the map. So this is actually scary now for Pink to be pushing in here, because they don't really know what this count's going to look like. Getting a couple of free hits is always nice, but it's 40 Mutas to 39. Pink over Purple. Upgrades are even.
Oh, they're going to take it. Oh, I don't know about this. Their upgrades are even, and so is the Muta counts.
So Purple's going to take this fight, I think. That's
yeah, it looks like it.
20 to 20, or sorry, 30 to 20. They're going to try and disengage, but they don't have the economy behind this. He's going to tap out. Vilehawk leaves Squirtle alone. Last man standing.
Squirtle. He's not even Zerg. Why would you do this? So I guess Isaac just beating Vilehawk once again in the ZVZ. We cannot really say who micros, who macros, how much they're helping their partner if they're, you know, not the default Zerg player, but
he's just like, oh, my friend left? What the fuck?
Well, that's rude not to tell your partner you're gonna leave.
Maybe it's like a straight up disconnect or something weird. Like maybe it wasn't like a rage quit, you know?
It's possible, but I've never seen not a disconnect screen.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, well, he's going to try and fight it out to the last, even without a partner. His read on the scenario might also be different, not being main Zerg, as far as we know. He did play Protoss in the earlier match. And maybe thinking like, oh, the flappy wings are still around, so we're still good, right? But now, the supplies that we can see definitely tell a different tale.
Yeah, this is very unlikely going to go well for Pink.
Yeah, down especially by 20 Mutas, so jeez. Yeah. Well,
I mean, the Muta count for sure, but down a teammate is pretty considerable.
So I really wonder, you know, talking about how difficult it is for Zerg to be an Archon partner, the biggest problem for me when... What the fuck? What the shit? Okay, that's gonna go on the VOD. Is that a lot of Zerg, since it's such, like, you know, instant reactions, like, your units are so damn fast, your larva either goes into one or the other, and you have to decide right now. Scouting is also attacking. So, especially if these guys are on Skype, which they might not be, considering Squirrel doesn't realize his partner is left. For him to realize, like, hey, we're losing the Muta war, maybe make some Lings, is too long of a conversation to actually have in a ZVZ war. So this
counterattack on the other side.
I mean, he's actually doing... I think he's actually doing better just by himself. Like, it's not that Vilehawk was tearing him down, but just, like, more cohesive thoughts and how you want to play the ZVZ is going to be a lot easier. Even if you start, you know, missing a couple of micro or inject, something like that.
See, but that to me screams leaps and bounds. Oh, it's a Bailey. That to me screams leaps and bounds what we've discussed in the past, where I do feel communication is key. Archon mode should elevate teammates, not tear them down, and that goes back to people not practicing for this. Starcraft 2 is a 1v1 game, and if you're good at 1v1 Starcraft, it does not mean you'll be good at Archon mode.
Yep. That is certainly true. This could have been a double-pronged attack that was really cool, but instead finds the mutas, and that is still going to be game. And we're going to go to the ace match. Woohoo!
Jinx.
Oh, okay. So that's going to be on Central Protocol, and we're going to have to wait for their announced players. That's the one match that is not just preset other than the map. Central Protocol. I just said it. There you go. So we're going to need both team managers or coordinators, whatever they're called. So that's going to be Sneezer and M King to announce their players. Now, this is where we have to talk about an interesting dynamic that actually did happen in this best of 5, where the basic rule is that you can't play more than twice. There's some more nuances in there. So we just got confirmation that Sneezer and Isaac are both ineligible for UT Austin, and Hawk and Squirtle are both ineligible for UT Arlington because they both played a 1v1 and a 2v2 or an Archon mode, depending on the players you're talking about. So, actually, surprisingly, since those 4 players are out, I guess we actually have a default ace for once. That's kind of funny. It's certainly not what I expected. So the default ace is going to be Imp King versus Sanguine. Imp King was a 2v2 player who didn't play 1v1. He was Protoss. And Sanguine is the player who lost to Squirtle, the greedy Terran player.
I just don't want another Zerg versus Zerg zombie grum.
Well, it's not. It is a PvT.
Yeah, between our channel and this, I can't take any more ZVZ. As fun as they legit can be.
Oh, join the lobby and we'll get ready to go. This is the last match of the day. Just 2 best of 5s is all we do Tuesday and Thursdays on this channel, C-Star League 2. Again, if you're interested in what the CSL is trying to do, you can check them out at cstarleague.com. You can see all the links down here too for their YouTube, Facebook, and whatnots. And if you are a college student or getting into college next year especially, definitely check them out. They can be fun. And if you're going to a medium to much larger college, it's not guaranteed they're going to have a team, but almost guaranteed you're going to find 4 other friends who like Starcraft. If you look really hard.
I don't know about that. So
in like a really large college.
Right.
Like,
so funny enough, talking with some of the guys who are in CSL, like Bales and Intense and whatnot on that Skype meme show, they did mention how hard it is to find anyone to play with. Like, they're lucky to field these teams of 5.
Yeah.
So they are in some instances just grabbing random Mr. Okay, I've played 3 games before, but I need to field a team, so come join us type guy.
So I have heard similar problems from the New York team, but it almost seems to always be that they're interested in StarCraft, but they figure because there's already a team preset, and a couple of these teams do have people like Bales, that they have no chance. So like, why even try? It's supposed to be fun, but they feel pressured. So, I mean, you actually might not be able to find 4 other people who even like StarCraft, but I think the chances are good that they're like gamers and they know about StarCraft in a very large college. I actually went to a super, super small one that had like 150 people, and I was the only one who knew about StarCraft. Depressing, no?
No, because look where it took you, man. You get to be a
That's
big
a
old
good
caster
point.
and fly around the world.
It's a good point. This makes me so proud. Alright, ace match. The bottom left as the pink Protoss. He's Imp King.
Playing for...
Imp King plays for UT Arlington.
Alright, and playing on the other side of the map, he's Terran. Yes! He's red. It's Sanguine.
Mm-hmm. Now, we didn't really get to see Sanguine's TVP play because he went for 3cc and then got all-in, and that's that, you know?
Riggedy wrecked.
Yeah. We didn't really get to see Imp King's Protoss either, though, because 2v2 always makes things weird. I can say from what I saw in the 2v2, he wasn't the strongest macro player, so I do kind of give this to the Terran player, but that's just, I don't know. I don't even know if that's really quite important. We really have to see what Imkin can do in a 1v1 specifically. Especially because they won that so early on, and and it was more of a kind of do whatever you want 2v2, as you've already won for the 6 minutes that it went on.
Well, being quite annoying to the SCV trying to build a command center.
Mm-hmm.
Rip.
This SCV can't get the same thing done. Reaper comes out though and saves it. He's going to go ahead and chase it down as well. Make sure it can't place down any proxy pylons, or well, if he does, he has to send another probe out. There is a Nexus after Gateway, so the Militia Corps is going to be a little late. Same with the Adept. The Reaper could get maybe 1 or 2 probe kills.
Aw. We got, oh, I can't say this name. Frank Commentaries? Is that like Frank Commentaries combined into one word?
Probably.
Mod in the CSL chat. So I've been watching more Starcraft 2 recently. These two casters have been casting literally every single one I've seen. Hashtag no sleep.
Kind of,
yeah. That passion's real.
Sometimes.
We cast this morning, took a small break, casted now on the CSL channel.
Yeah. If there's double days, there's very little sleep. But... We've had days off by having only 1 cast a day. Amazing.
I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, though, like, mentally speaking, to consider that a day off.
I don't know either. Like, sometimes after finishing the Alima League, for instance, I'm like, wow, I have an entire Saturday.
Right, that's how I view it, but then at the same time, the night before, I'm like, I gotta wake up at 4 a.m. Son
Right?
of a bitch. Actually, I really did love living on the East Coast for that reason alone. Waking up at what I felt was more reasonable hours to cast was like, a lot different than waking up at 4 a.m. I'll tell you that much.
I believe you.
I actually saw Sun when we were in Toronto. That's so cool.
Oh, really? Did they say hi?
We did talk about all the Asian people get bumping it. We saw this guy who worked at a pharmacy that looked like
Oh,
Like,
those...
straight up, it was Pol. We saw another guy at a club where he looked like another esports personality. Oh, Clutch.
Yeah,
Clutch in the club.
at this place that we went to.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was a club, right?
Yeah, it was. So, we do have another all-in facing poor Terran player here, Sanguine. Now, he didn't go for 3CC this time, so he has all those important units, even though there's not many of them out, and I do feel a lot better for his defense, but he would still love to actually scout it. It's also not an Adept all-in, it's a Blink Stalker all-in, which is very effective with this new central protocol.
Yeah, the rocks being there no longer is a bit of, I feel almost false safety. I actually fear the giant open space in the main more than having rocks there.
Oh, that's so scary. And his barracks are even off to the left too, so they might get sniped.
Too swoopy. Now, the nice thing is the Liberator might get some damage done. A lot of this will come down to, can Imp King deal with this? So many times we actually see players do something that is so simple, like a Liberator, and watch someone forget common sense and just deal with it very poorly.
Yep. Oh, excuse me. So we have the attack prepping. Thanks. And the Liberator is taking sweet time actually getting over here.
It doesn't know the Mothership Core's not at home. This would be the perfect time to get in there. Deny mining. It keeps the warp-ins from coming. You'd only have 4 Stalkers warping instead of 8 to 9. Sanguine actually may lose this game based on the fact that he wasted all that time, frankly.
He only sees a Twilight Council and a single gateway with this Liberator too. If it would just move a little bit, he would know that something is up. Not exactly in an abusive position, can just be taken care of by this one Stalker. He does not see the Blink Stalker all-in coming. And this would just be the worst to lose both of your games because of an all-in. Oh.
Well, there are tanks and Widow Mines and Marauders aplenty. None of them are in position to defend this right now. Blink being used pretty well out of Imp King. Gotta give him credit. Dodging a lot of these shots and disjointing those Stalkers. Not many Stalkers have actually died yet. That one might. No, actually doesn't go off. Wow. 0 Stalker. Sorry, excuse me. 1 Stalker finally went down. 1 Stalker went down.
This has been a fairly good attack and a fairly okay defense.
Kills his own Stalker, so the second Stalker to die was...
Oh, pick up the tank, pick up the tank, pick up... Oh, okay. Well...
I do believe this may have gotten a little out of hand at this point. I'm
he
unsure.
pulls SCVs.
I was going to say, the supply count's not so bad. If he had sniped off that medevac at any point as well, there'd be no healing. A bit of an awkward blink there to the mineral line. Puts him in range of those SCVs that needed to be pulled.
Oh, Sanguine is... Oh my god, the money he's banking right now could definitely win him the game. Oof. Oof.
Not like he can. I mean, he can spend it. That's the worst part. Like, we're looking at some of these barracks. He's not supply blocked. There are just simple macro mistakes going on while this happens, and not to blame him. There's a lot going on. He's focused on television on these stalkers.
2 more medevacs join the party. Another tank as well. On siege might be better. Otherwise, yeah, sieging it up will just get it blinked upon. Oh, barely saves it, but loses the marauders in the process.
Yeah, unfortunately, a tank, on paper is good versus stalkers. In practice, usually is not.
Oh, this is the worst feeling. Losing 2 games to Protoss all in, but also realizing that it was just a simple macro mistake. Like, if he had been consistently producing, this stalker count wasn't really ever super scary.
I mean, the other part, too, is like if he had scouted this better, if the Liberator got in earlier. Congratulations, Arlington, by the way.
Yes.
He could have put a bunker down. Like, there's so much he could have done with that money.
Yes, it is. That's that. Congratulations to University of Texas at Arlington, who will now be going up to 4-1. So a pretty impressive overall score in Week 5. And unfortunately for UT Austin, they do go down to 1-4, which I don't know if that like completely shuts them out of the playoffs or what. But you guys, of course, can learn more if you go to cstarleague.com to find out if you're super duper interested. But that is it for us. And we do appreciate you all watching. Again, there is a giveaway happening that you can go to. Actually, I'll just throw up the screen. You can go to asus.cstarleague.com for details. It's just a video, and it could be a lot of fun. And also gets a chance to win a laptop. But back to us. Here we are. Again, follow the channel down below. You can also follow all of these links you can see on the overlay. You can follow us on Base Trade TV if you don't know who we are. Follow me on DG Gaming. And for Rifkin, who's making a face right now, you can follow at Riff_Kings. And that's it. We're all closed out. We'll see you guys tomorrow on Base Trade, at least, for the North American Ting Group number 2? Number 1?
2.
2. Okay, yeah. For the CSL, of course, that they're on, I think, almost every single day with different video games, of course, Dota and Hearthstone and whatnot. But the next time you see us doing Starcraft will be next Tuesday. It will be Toronto versus Ryerson and UC San Diego versus Utah Valley.
Toronto!
Woo! Alright, good night, everyone. Bye-bye.
It doesn't matter what comes. Fresh goes better in life with Mentos fresh and full of